The following video will get you fired, unless your boss is cool, and maybe then you'll get a promotion. Viewer discretion is advised. Time once again for the annual summer tradition. That time once every year where we drop the TV PG rating and go full-on TV MA with attitude. This is Hulk Hogan's Manga Mania 3. If you didn't know, let me fill you in. In 1984, Japanese manga publisher Kodansha Media released a weekly short strip in Bon Bon magazine featuring an off-the-wall parody of Hulk Hogan, as well as other wrestlers popular at the time from Japan and around the world. The title is Yappa a Hogan Yo, meaning very loosely, hey, it's that jag-off Hogan. The series ran for about 4 years, coinciding with the Hulkster's first WWF championship reign. As the series ran, 6 books were compiled of past strips. This episode will focus on book number 2, released in 1985. These comics are infamous for their extreme raunchiness, excessive violence and gore, profane language, and hilarious art styles. Don't forget that in the series, Hogan's Fu Man Chu is sentient, as is sometimes his Wang. The wrestlers all kind of get along rock and wrestling style, even if they disembowel each other on occasion. The tone of the Yappa a Hogan Yo universe starts to be cemented here, as the artist Minoru Shibayama has a feel for the characters now, and if he ever had any limits placed on him for what he could or could not draw, those are clearly off by now. The second book is a much stronger effort than the first one, and while that wasn't bad, it just had the evolution that all new works have. I could go on, but I've pretty much covered everything before in Manga Mania 1 and 2, so go check it for more information. Now, let's get to the action. Our story begins at one of Hogan's favorite establishments, the adult movie theater. Hogan invites Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody to come along. They seem a bit shy at first, even though Hogan is seen there every afternoon. Hogan tells Stan and Brody that if they aren't man enough to go in, he'll just have to go himself. Then, a number of fans spot Hogan, Stan, and Brody from across the street and yell out their names in excitement. The three happily greet the fans and sign posters. The girls ask them where they are going. Hogan says he's going to the library, while Brody and Stan are off to the adult theater. The girls are shocked and horrified at the thought. Well, it was 1985, they're not like the girls of today. Brody and Stan try to explain that was Hogan's idea, while Hogan says that they're trying to draw him into the theater. I mean, why would Hogan, such an upstanding person of moral character, subject himself to something so depraved? He then invites the 3 girls to lunch with him, telling Brody and Stan to enjoy the movie. But before they leave, one girl says that she might like seeing what the movies in the adult theater are all about. The other 2 also quickly change their minds. She asks Stan and Brody if they can join. Hogan is beside himself. Realizing this truly once-in-a-lifetime opportunity is slipping away, Hogan says, well, if you insist, let's go. But just the 3 girls and me. Brody and Stan get so ticked off at Hogan, they hold him down and throw knives at him. And, that's it. That's the end of the story. Hogan is in the ring with Furitachi Ichiro. They bounce off the ropes and Hogan lands a closed fist via his Fu Man Chu, and then blasts off a fresh one right in his face. It stinks so bad he can't even get the words to disappear. Hogan says if you like that, why not take a whiff of the tights? Ichiro thinks they're a little too big for Hogan, more like Andre, who just happens to be hanging around drinking a beer. So half in the bag is Andre, he sits right down on Ichiro. Hogan, for whatever reason, puts on an elephant mask, picks up Andre by the trunk, and somehow throws him aside. He then puts on a horse's head. There's some untranslatable humor here, but basically the joke is that Ichiro confuses the horse for Giant Baba. Hogan says Baba's face looks more like a fresh doo-doo, and they compare his face to a dragon and Frankenstein. But it all ends up with Baba saying he's actually Seiko Matsuda, a famous pop idol. Why doesn't it make any sense? Well, it's all seen through the eyes of Andre, who by now has downed his own weight in whiskey. Or at least that's the story I'm going with. The sun rises over the mountains, and as the light reaches Hogan's window, the house is already buzzing. Coffee is being made, with a full breakfast to go along with it. But it's not Hogan. He's still asleep. It's his Fu Man Chu. He, or it, I guess I should say, wakes up Hogan and helps him eat, and then clean up. The Fu Man Chu then gets on a pair of boots and carries Hogan to work. Hogan says to go faster, and the Fu Man Chu says it's impossible because Hogan weighs 140 kilograms, 310 pounds for those of you in America. This angers Hogan, and he starts punching and strangling his own Fu Man Chu. For the Fu Man Chu, this is the last straw, and it leaves. Walks away. Hogan breaks down and cries over having to be alone, and the Road Warriors tell him it's his own fault for being so abusive. Then, Hogan is alerted that famous actress Yukiko Kudo wants to meet him. Hogan's eyes light up, and he can't wait to meet her. As it turns out, she's only looking for Hogan so she can send the Fu Man Chu back to its original owner. Hogan and Bruiser Brody enjoy a soap in the hot tub. Hogan decides to play a prank on Brody and, squirt him in the face. Brody chases Hogan out. Hogan steals Brody's clothes and puts them on. In the locker room, Hogan decides to get a beer, as nothing's better after a hot bath than a cold beer, says Hogan. Then he remarks that his skin feels a little itchy. As it turns out, he caught Athlete's foot from wearing Brody's gear. Brody comes out and says to Hogan, "Oh yeah? Well, I put on your trunks and it gave me crabs." Hogan takes on the Road Warriors in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Hogan picks each Road Warrior up with one hand and begs them to feel the power of Hulkamania, brother. Then there's a run-in, where Hogan is attacked from behind with a spiked club. It's Dump Matsumoto, called Truck here to avoid copyright infringement. Get it? Dump? Truck? Oh well. Anyway, she drives nails through Hogan's skull and slices him up in the ring. Oh boy, talk about heel heat. Dump turns to the crowd and says that she is the true Ichiban. Then she gleefully splits the scene. Hogan is back and out for revenge. Somehow still alive despite having an axe and knife stuck in his body. A chase ensues, out the arena, across town, down a mountainside. Dump just can't shake Hogan. Eventually, Dump tries a standard cartoon chase tactic and yells, "Hey, look over there!" While Hogan is distracted, she wipes off her makeup and hides in a pig pen. Hogan looks around and says, "Huh? Where's Dump? All I see is a bunch of pigs." Yeah, I'll probably get in trouble for that one. I don't care. Oh man, what a riot. Well, let's take a time out to hear some words from our local station. 80s commercials from Japan with pro wrestlers in them are the greatest, aren't they? Stay here.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
ジャンボ大襲撃うまさ無敵ジャンボフランク日本ハム
カードを入れてランプの通り引くとあなたの速さに伴奏が合わせてくれる。
僕にも弾けた。
誰でも弾けるマイバンド。
お腹がパワーの決め手だぞ。雪印ローリーエース。
ローリー飲んで10人力。
雪印ローリーエース。
Hogan and Riki are taking an evening stroll. Riki points out how nice the full moon looks tonight. "Hey, Hogan, why are you looking so weird?" "Well, it's a full moon, and Hogan is a werewolf." Riki is shocked. "All this time you were a werewolf and didn't tell me?" says Riki. "Why are you so happy about this, Hogan?" Well, Hogan says, I can steal things and no one will stop me. See this underwear on the laundry line? The werewolf did it, not Hogan. See? Well, don't forget, it's a full moon on a nice summer night, so there are many people out. Hogan and Riki come across some girls walking to a festival. He kisses them and laughs excitedly, saying of course that the werewolf did it. Now, it's off to the public bath and to go into the women's section. Riki then notices that now some clouds are covering up the moon. With the moon half visible, Hogan's head turns back to normal, but not the rest of him. They turn a corner and Hogan sees that the moon is back out again, which will turn him into a full werewolf. But oh no! It wasn't the moon, it was just some bald dude's head. Hogan runs to the women's bath and Riki tries to stop him, but it's too late. Hogan gets what's coming to him. In the locker room, the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, are eating some burgers that they just happened to find laying around. But it turns out they're not so fresh anymore. Actually, they're 10 days old. They decide to toss them, but then get a better idea. Give them to Hogan. They call Hogan over from the showers and tell him it's chow time. He takes a burger and loves it. Actually, there's no problem at all. Hawk and Animal are shocked and confused. Maybe the burgers are still okay after all. Hawk and Animal try one and instantly run to the bathroom and weigh anchor. It empties their inside so much. Trip after trip, they end up emaciated and in the hospital. The doctor says it's food poisoning, and Hogan wonders what they ate to make them so sick. After a successful match, Bruiser Brody heads off to the locker room to brush his teeth. The toothpaste was laced with hot sauce. A little shrimpy guy, with only his eyes showing through his mask, takes credit for the rib. Andre is in the hot tub, and when he's called out, Andre puts his pants back on. Except a piece of cognac jelly was inside. The little masked guy is at it again. Andre and Brody talk about what's been going on, and they think it's Hogan, but the prankster is so short, how could it be him? Meanwhile, Hawk is on the toilet and wipes, but oh no, the toilet paper is swapped with sandpaper. The little guy strikes again. He unmasks himself to reveal his true identity. He jumps through the ceiling and the three chase after. They find Hogan there and he swears it wasn't him. Hogan is able to convince Andre, Hawk, and Brody it was some kind of alien or something. And they actually fall for it. The door to the locker room kicks open, with a mysterious man asking, "Where's Hogan?" The wrestlers on hand, Animal, Hamaguchi, Killer Khan, and Riki, ask who this man is. He says he's a master of martial arts. It's Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star! Riki says he's kinda small for a wrestler. Kenshiro says he may be small, but he's got heart, and he knows how to beat someone with just one finger. He then demonstrates this, and with one touch, deforms their faces. Kenshiro calls for Hogan. It's Fu Manchu picks up Kenshiro, and Hogan wonders who this little guy is. Kenshiro says he will show Hogan who's boss, and with just one finger. He pokes Hogan on the forehead, and yeah, he transforms his face, that's for sure. Kenshiro admits defeat while Hogan is captivated by his new face. Dump Matsumoto shows up at the locker room of the Giant Machine, asking for help. The machine asks what kind of help, and Dump says to help her get meat to eat after her match. And if he can help, she will repay him back in a certain way, if you know what I mean. The bell sounds and the match is on. A death match between Hogan and Dump. I guess he's out for revenge from when she put an axe in his head. The match starts and Giant Machine interferes. He holds Hogan down and says, "How's this for a piece of meat?" Dump gets a chainsaw and starts swinging. Hogan ducks his head into his body like a turtle, saving his life. The Giant Machine holds Hogan by the feet and Dump saws him right in half. The announcer is going crazy. This is unprecedented in the history of professional wrestling. Hogan doesn't die. After all, he is immortal. Instead, his lower extremities regenerate. Hogan hulks up and shoves his fist straight through Dump. The Giant Machine confronts Hogan again, only to reveal that he's really Andre the Giant. And together, they cook Dump on a rotating spit in the ring, with Hogan and Andre saying they love nothing more than pig. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation of Hulk Hogan's Manga Mania 3. If the real Hulk Hogan doesn't find this and kill me for making fun of him, see ya next summer.